You are listening to Wolf Trader Radio. This is your week in review for February 4th, 2023. This was a volatile week for financial markets. We had the Fed meeting on Wednesday, followed by the jobs report on Friday. The S&P generally pressed higher through the Fed meeting. Then on Friday, we had an unexpected outcome in the jobs report with a blowout number that was 2.76 times higher than the expected outcome. Of course, the markets got confused because they didn't know whether this was good news or bad news. We live in this twisted world where the markets react not to the economic data but instead to what they think the Fed will do. This is all done now on an AI level where bots search for keywords and instant reaction. So good news is bad news for the markets because the Fed will tighten. The bad news is good news for the markets because the Fed will loosen. Even after the volatility on Friday, the S&P still closed out positive for the week. Natural gas continues its long descent lower. We are tracking this with the BAT trader. The BAT trader enters a trade on a stop order breakout. The BAT trader now shows a reversal at 3.90 or higher. The current projections put a reversal in the middle or late February. Gold showed a strong reversal lower this week. We have warned about gold since the beginning of the year. Gold was in a positive seasonal to start out the year, but that is likely over. The Jupiter and the Saturn cycle are both in a long-term bear market. Gold has likely resumed its multi-year bear market. The Wolf Spread trade has done an excellent job of tracking the long Bitcoin and short gold trade since January 10, 2023. The quad lunar on gold goes into a sell on February 6, 2023, so additional selling may follow in the short term. Gold is a fan favorite among investors to keep in their portfolio, but I just want people to be aware that the odds favor a move lower in the coming years. Keep in mind that gold can be rather a choppy market, so even if the bear market has resumed, it will be a stair-step move lower rather than a plunge. Also, watch the Japanese yen as it tends to track gold. The Fed juice did a solid job of tracking both silver and gold lower. The Fed juice on silver is in a sell since December 15, 2022, and the Fed juice on gold is in a sell since February 1, 2023. The gold miners Fed juice went into a sell on January 25, 2023. There is an interesting phenomenon that tends to occur, which is that big moves usually tend to break in the direction of the Fed juice. It can look like nothing is going on in a choppy market and then the big move comes with the Fed juice. So just keep an eye on that. Oil and gasoline are moving into positive seasonals from now through early March. In fact, February is one of the strongest months of the year for oil. The Fed juice on oil is still in a sell since January 26. But once that changes into a buy, then oil will have a chance to rally higher. The Canadian dollar remains one of the best trading vehicles in our service. The Quad Lunar and the Best RSI are working as a dynamic duo in trades. We have added the Best RSI trading system to all charts now. The following symbols are covered: copper, silver, gold, natural gas, oil, US dollar, Canadian dollar, British pound, euro, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, Bitcoin, Cardano, S&P 500, gold miners, Apple, Tesla, Broadcom, Caterpillar, Bank of America, VIXI Volatility, ARK Innovation, SPDR Biotech. We just hosted a webinar on the Best RSI Part 2 on February 4, 2023 at 8 a.m. In this webinar, we addressed key questions such as, what are the strengths of the Best RSI hook? What are the weaknesses of the Best RSI hook? Can the Best RSI be combined with other trading systems? What is risk control on Best RSI? Do long and short signals trade evenly across 10 years? Can a long or short bias across each month? What are the best conditions to trade the Best RSI? We also looked at examples of the S&P, gold, and the Canadian dollar. 3 distinct examples of 10-year long/short trade biases were evaluated for the euro, Apple, and Broadcom. The euro prefers short trades. Apple prefers long trades, and Broadcom trades evenly across 10 years. The webinar will be archived tomorrow on Patreon and the members area of the website. The Polar R² notched another winning week of trades. We are using a new low noise filter. This means that the Polar R² is more selective and takes fewer trades. Quality over quantity. The Polar R² finished the week off with a nice short trade in the bond across the jobs report on Friday. All Polar R² trades remain in the position until the close. The 10-year note and the 30-year bond remain 2 of the strongest symbols in the Polar R². The same low noise filter from the Polar R² is now used in the quad lunar cycle. This should improve the performance of the quad lunar cycle, especially in the S&P 500. We discuss the Polar R² in detail each week in our Zoom meeting at 8 a.m. The Zoom meetings are open to the public. You must be on the email list to get an invitation, and replays are posted on the website later in the day. You can sign up for the free email list at www.wolftraderfutures.com or www.fedjuice.com. Thanks for listening.